friends, the family, and the fire that keeps our team blazing through this season. Welcome to News 10 NBC's Training Camp Tailgate, sponsored by Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys.
Yeah, welcome here to St. John Fisher Training Camp Tailgate. Matt Majitski here, Ian Mills as well. Look at this. We got the whole setup here at St. John Fisher. All the food that you would need for a training camp. We even got our guy Nick on the grill over there. We've cooked up a lot of content as well for you over this next half hour.
Yeah, but we have some stories to track. The main story I'm tracking if this guy's cooking medium rare or well done. Of course, the James Cook contract situation has continued here at St. John Fisher. Rookie cornerback Maxwell Harrison suffering an injury yesterday. And of course, Josh Allen's stardom just continuing to rise here at Fisher.
And of course, all these stories are very cool to see unfold here in Pittsford every single year since 2000. But of course, before 2000, training camp, it was somewhere different. It was in Fredonia. Yeah, fans in the Rochester area had to drive all the way out to Fredonia. And we talked to a former News 10 NBC sports director about the biggest differences since they moved here.
For the past quarter of a century, the Bills and Rochester, New York have partnered up for a few weeks in the summer.
It changed this area. I think we always had a lot of Bills fans in Rochester, but especially after the Super Bowl years. But when camp came here, I think it brought it up even higher.
Former News 10 NBC sports director Rick Hager was here to see the move from Fredonia to Fisher. And boy, was it different then.
It must have been soccer practice fields. And I don't think they watered them that much. So I just remember a lot of grass being brown or burnt out in July and August. There's nothing like here with the banners and the inflatables, balloons. There was none of that.
Hager says there was also no merch, and autographs were also tough to come by. But when St. John Fisher stepped up, it was an instant success and more of what training camp is today.
There were other teams that did similar things, but maybe not to the degree that the Bills did. They were going from, here's our football team, we're great in the Super Bowl years, and that was the kind of the mindset. We're selling football.
And selling football is easy when you got good quarterbacks.
The first few years with Flutie was a quarterback, and it was very exciting. The winning plus Josh has really elevated things even higher.
But of course, there will always be drawbacks and complaints. At Fredonia, fans could pretty much show up and watch practice. Not so fast in 2025.
You could just walk right in and hang out. Now stakes are higher. Or home box office.
Mobile ticketing is a challenge. Yeah, mobile ticketing is a challenge. The various websites, Ticketmaster, Bills, which one's the correct one to go to, it's a little bit challenging.
But Bills Mafia will surely trade in one small inconvenience for all of the memories of having the Bills in their backyard.
Our youngest grandchildren, Lucas, when he was just a little baby, we handed him over the fence to Freddie Jackson, and Freddie held him, and we got a picture taken with him.
I love getting the tattoo every year. Doing the CPR experience is always fun. I always like all the games that they have for the kids and everything.
We come every year. They do a terrific job. I hope it stays here at Fisher.
All right, yeah, they obviously do a terrific job here at St. John Fisher. Every year, again, the Bills have been coming here since 2000. Seems like a yearly tradition at this point, but hey, we don't really know what the future holds. It's kind of been one-year contracts ever since the past couple of years here at Fisher, and with the new stadium being built in Buffalo, you just never know what the future holds. But if you ask the guys that matter most, yeah, Sean McDermott, Josh Allen, Tre'Davious White, you can ask the stars, even the guys that are new to this, that are Bills players that have never seen this show before, they will tell you that St. John Fisher, Pittsford, this is the place to be for training camp.
It's one of the best places, I believe, the best place in the NFL for training camp. I really believe that. It's a great place to come to visit, to get the work in that we need to get in.
Being in the dorm room and hanging out with the guys and learning about their lives on a deeper level and just trying to really build that camaraderie. And I really think that's why we go away from Buffalo and come here to Rochester and St. John Fisher.
Yeah, so we know about Josh Allen. We know about Sean McDermott's love for St. John Fisher. You may also know about these guys, the Rochester Jeffersons, the Flower City's NFL team dating back to the 1920s. What you may not know is the man who helped usher this team into pro football, Leo Lyons, has ties to the creation of where we're standing right here, St. John Fisher University. Meet John Steffenhagen.
John, yes.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
The man who published a book on the Rochester Jeffersons.
Game against the New York Giants at the Polo Grounds in 1925.
And their longtime owner, Leo Lyons.
And he joined the team in 1908.
Because Leo, who started with the Jeffs as a player,
That's actually me, and that's Leo.
was John's great-grandfather.
So I knew he was involved with football, but I didn't know how much.
In 1920, the American Professional Football Association was created, later known as the NFL, with the Rochester Jeffersons as one of its founding members.
He had the hindsight of building this league, and he ended up being there and forming the league the day they did.
The Jeffs didn't last much longer, playing their last NFL game in 1925, but the footprint Leo left was huge.
He had a state-in-law football team and turned them into state champions, and then NFL team.
Longtime owners in the NFL considered Leo a pioneer. He had the idea for the first trading card for the sport, the league's logo, and the Hall of Fame. But Leo was more known as a family man after his days with the Jeffs, having 2 daughters.
She was like a saint, like everybody loved her.
Catherine Zelda Lyons. She didn't reinvigorate the love for pro football in Rochester like her father did, but
she was a female, no less, founder of a men's college. It's like that's unheard of in the 40s.
She was the first registrar of St. John Fisher and was part of the triumvirate that campaigned for funds to start the school in the first place.
She was, everything for this college.
So the NFL and St. John Fisher, the home of the Buffalo Bills during the summer, both of their foundations have ties to the Lyons family.
I've met Ralph Wilson before, and he knew my great-grandfather from back in the 60s and stuff. Yeah. And then he goes, "Who do you like?" And then I told him that I'm a Miami Dolphins fan.
Fitting.
What has been the most satisfying part of bringing the Leo Lyons story to modern date?
But just to get it out now and in a book, it meant a lot.
All right, much more to talk about here at Training Camp Tailgate here at St. John Fisher. Just some awesome stories there. But we've got a lot more to talk about. Daquan Jones, a player with ties to the area, and not just about the players either. So much more here at camp. You got parking, you got people getting autographs, just a lot going on behind the scenes. We've got all of that coming up here on Training Camp Tailgate.
You're watching News 10 NBC's Training Camp Tailgate with Matt Majinski and Ian Mills.
And welcome back to Training Camp Tailgate live here from Pittsford.
Yeah, and of course, Pittsford always booms as a town during training camp. You got restaurants, diners, all sorts of vendors, but there is one other place that's been a bit of a staple in the Pittsford community ever since camp came here in 2000.
When the Bills come to Pittsford, many of the lawns along Fairport Road become parking lots.
I actually lived here 25 years.
Bernice Bryant is an 88-year-old homeowner.
Yeah, you're going to get more cars over there.
And 10 years ago, one of her grandsons used her lawn as a parking lot while Bernice and her late husband were on vacation.
Christopher just had a whole bunch of cars in the yard and money in his hand. So the next morning, my husband got up and started parking. So we've been parking ever since.
Now, Bernice is quick to correct her sons and grandsons who double as her employees.
Listen.
So we either do it right or get in line.
Her customers come from all over the place.
Let's go, Buffalo. The farthest person I saw last year came from Utah.
And say she's doing them a service.
They just walk down the street and they're there.
And since Bernice and her family live directly across the street from St. John Fisher, you might assume that they've made the trek to Bill's training camp at least once. Well,
so have you been over to camp before?
No, I have never been over to camp.
I have never been over there.
I went over there, but no ticket.
So no, these guys haven't been over to camp, much more enthused to park their cars.
What has been your favorite interaction with a fan over the years?
When they simply call you brother.
And make a quick buck or two.
They suggest, you need to go up on the price.
But what excites Bernice Bryant the most
He made my bracelet, so
is getting to meet new people.
I don't see a lot of people here in this area. I have my neighbors who I see every now and then, but I see new people. I love meeting new people. Just really love it.
Yeah, so once you park and you get in the gates, for fans, it's about going in there and watching Buffalo Bills practices. But for the kids itself, it's all about getting autographs.
Of training camp's many attractions, the primary one for kids is autographs. A simple signature from anyone, as long as they're on the team.
I got an autograph from James Cook, Ray Davis, David Edwards, and another player.
A backup cornerback, maybe even a punter. But of course, the grand prize. However, not every autograph story is created equally.
Yeah, okay, that's cool.
Back in 2018, the Tweedle family went to get an autograph from linebacker Lorenzo Alexander.
My daughter's first training camp, she was 3 years old.
The Pro Bowler picking up the then 3-year-old Genevieve Tweedle before signing away.
How cool was it to kind of meet him again today?
It was very cool.
And this very camp, 7 years later, the Tweedles saw their man again.
It's great. I mean, I really love coming back. I mean, obviously, there's nobody like Bills Mafia and what they bring to the table.
That's when you were showing him the rope? You put her on the table.
Love it, love it.
I called him over because I wanted my daughter to meet him because she wouldn't remember the first time, but she's seen the picture before. So it was a chance to thank him, honestly, for what he did.
In a moment the Tweedles will never forget.
Is it kind of a full circle moment that you guys got to meet him today?
Yeah.
It means the world, right? Because kids look up to athletes that are pros. And when you have a local athlete, they're honestly a role model to young kids. And to have athletes that are willing to take their time to say hello and build a personal connection, you have a fan for life.
And a circumstance that Alexander, a Bills legend, will always appreciate.
And they have pictures of me with their kids when they were super young, and now they, maybe they come back when they're 15, right? That affinity that we have for one another and that connection is really cool. And they keep the pictures. They, oh man, you remember this? And a lot of times you do. So it's a really cool aspect of being in this, or I guess playing for this community.
Yeah, so that's what training camp is all about, making memories, and for us, getting good food. We're going to have to test out our guy Nick's abilities in a little bit, but there's still so much more to come up on Training Camp Tailgate, including hearing from the players themselves, including 2 star defensive tackles who boast ties to upstate New York. And welcome back to Training Camp Tailgate live from St. John Fisher University.
Yeah, and you know what, Ian, you talk to Bills Mafia, they will tell you the Bills are New York State's only professional team. Sure. I may debate that. That's a whole nother story. But what we cannot debate is that with some of the players on this team, people are enjoying this team in Western New York even more because of some of the ties.
Everybody knows Joe Andreessen.
Like I said, I'm an undrafted guy.
The Western New York native turned UB product turned undrafted free agent to crack Buffalo's roster last year.
I'm trying to get autographs from Joe Andreessen, shout out Lancaster.
But Buffalo Joe is hardly the only Bill to boast ties to upstate New York.
Yeah, I have about 20 people to your right, all from Syracuse coming out.
Defensive tackle Casey Rogers is a native of Syracuse and is in his first year with the Buffalo Bills.
At one time, I was one of these kids, so it's been really cool to give back,
Sharing a position group with veteran Daquan Jones.
I've been telling people I have no complaints for going to year 12.
And playing on the D-line isn't the only thing these two have in common.
Yeah, we've talked a little bit about it. We know some mutual people.
You see, Rogers graduating from West Hill in Syracuse, and Daquan from Johnson City, a suburb outside of Binghamton, grew up in different parts of central New York, about 80 miles apart.
Do you feel like Johnson City was a Bills town or a Giants town, and how has that changed over the years in your mind?
I feel it's kind of a good mixture of both.
And created pockets of Bills Mafia sprinkled throughout the state.
There's a lot of Buffalo Bills fans back home, and they let me know that I'm loved and appreciated for being here.
Hoping this wave of Buffalo fandom
what playing for the Bills means to the people around here. So
throughout the state and beyond continues.
Especially if we go out there and get that big boy. The whole damn United States might be a Bills fan. So that's the goal.
And those connections extend to the volunteers as well. One Marquand Gimes, who is a high school student helping out here at St. John Fisher University, is hoping to learn from the likes of Sean McDermott and his coaching staff while he's here.
Year 2 of Marquand Grimes' camp at Edison Tech came with the motto, become your own kind of greatness.
I want to teach them, life lessons, knowing that, it's okay to start from where you are and try to work your way up there and, become your own kind of greatness.
Grimes is hoping to inspire the youth of Rochester by building them into better people and football players, and he's learning from the best.
I'm learning something that we actually just did, how to adjust, adapt, and overcome. And just watching how they move and how they transition into, drill after drill, period after period, and how they do it on a professional level.
Marquand has goals of making his camp something big in Rochester for years to come. And he's volunteering at Bills Camp, where he's learning the best ways to go about things.
Every day at training camp, you get different personalities. And here, even with coaches and kids, it's always different personalities. You got to respect others' opinions. You got to hear them out. So I think overall, it's just a big circle as far as the intangibles that you need to be a great leader and to make things run efficiently.
So for Grimes, being a leader doesn't stop at training camp or his youth football camp. Those are just tools to help train the next generation of leaders on and off the field.
To help kids get better and to give them opportunities, that's the ultimate greatness for me to see.
A lot of greatness ahead for Marquand Grimes. Hey, there is just a little bit ahead on training camp tailgate, but we have saved the best for last. I'm sure you've heard of Hard Knocks. They've been here all week at Bills training camp shooting the latest series that drops August 5th, and we have a bit of a fun story on that coming up here on Training Camp Tailgate.
The training camp tailgate. It has been plain to see for anyone who's made the trek down to St. John Fisher University that Hard Knocks, HBO's annual series covering NFL training camps, has taken over. But if you talk to players, fans, and coaches, you'll hardly hear any complaints.
St. John Fisher, where the Cardinals fly until the Ides of May. And come summer, the Buffalo Bills flock and stay. With them comes the Mafia, Josh Allen jerseys in all shapes and sizes and colors, and the Buffalo faithful can only hope the sun doesn't smother, while teammates who call themselves brothers are aging to keep their careers alive, hoping day after day and drive after drive they have what it takes to make the 53 and lead the Bills to their first All
right, come on, stop. Glenn Johnson could muse about St. John Fisher University all day long if he wanted to, and we would probably listen to it. But it's true, Hard Knocks has invaded Buffalo Bills training camp through the first week and a half, and for many, it's a welcomed addition.
We have nothing to hide. We are who we are.
Well, maybe hiding some things.
Try not to cuss as much. I know it's HBO, so I'm sure it goes on there if they wanted to.
And for fans, it's just another chance to put their smaller town and team on the national stage.
I'll be watching every second of it.
I'm excited to see.
Oh, that's good because you get to watch it all later on. You get to look for yourself on TV.
And hey, while you're at it, look for some media personalities too. Hard Knocks from Pittsford begins airing on August 5th.
All right, that will be very fun to watch. And, of course, we're almost done here on Training Camp Tailgate. We had to go get some food. These burgers are coming out decent. Maybe a B- to our cook over there on the grill. He's doing a good job. He's being a good sport. But we also want to talk about the season at hand because, obviously, after training camp, we're almost on to the regular season. It's only about a month away. Ian, do you have any quick predictions for the Bills this season?
Listen, every Bills fan wants a Super Bowl, but they have yet to get the 1 seed in the Josh Allen era. Kind of a random stat, weird stat, but I'm expecting them to go 14-3. Get the 1 seed, you go from there.
14-3 with that schedule. That is a bold prediction. I'm going to go with another bold prediction myself. I know Khalil Shakir looks like the number one guy here in Buffalo. I'm going to say Josh Palmer leads the Bills in receiving yards, even though it is an everybody eats mentality. Right. But, hey, Training Camp Tailgate, it's been a pleasure, Ian.
Thanks so much.